feel like I'm just like a boat upon a winding river, twisting towards an endless black sea, further and further, drifting away from where I want to be, who I want to be.
Well, I'm doing this shit again. I'm back. I'm ready to go, ready to roll. I missed a little bit of time there. What has it been? It's April 1st. I haven't done it since the 14th of March. I've been trying to get to the point where I'm doing it every week, like I said I was going to, for consistency and stuff. But I don't know. I'm having a hard time doing it. I'm having a hard time sticking to that because I feel like I don't really have anything important to say all the time. But I don't know. I think that there's been enough time where I have a lot of shit to talk about. I have a lot of stuff to write down. This is like my version of a little diary, an audio diary. And then if anybody else wants to listen, they can feel free. This is another episode of Open Michael Miller, my podcast where I ramble about stuff. It is 6:45 a.m. on a Saturday. Going over some housekeeping. If that's what that is, I had some coffee this morning. I actually didn't stay up all night. I'm getting on a good schedule now, which is good because every time I do one of these, I have the same problem, which is my sleep schedule is so off. My sleep schedule is ridiculous. It's like I wake up, I don't know, I go to sleep sometimes at 5, 6 a.m. So by the time I'm doing this, it's like right before bed. But today I woke up at 2 a.m., which is like so good. It's almost bad. So good it's bad. Like I shouldn't be waking up at 2 a.m. But I went to sleep at like 8:30 and I woke up at 2 a.m. Because, my life was starting to fall apart. The last, what has it been like? It's been like 2 weeks of school since I did it. It was just, I was just having such a hard time just because of the hours I was doing. And I wasn't doing comedy. I've been doing like 2 or 3 a week, but it's like nothing like I should be. And that's mostly just because my hours have been so off that I sleep as soon as I'm done with my classes, and it's like, I don't know, I just have no time to do it. But I don't know. I think I'm in a lot better place with my sleep schedule, which is good. A lot of the big problem too is procrastination, which I don't know. I gotta beat that. I gotta beat that somehow. I don't know though. Wow, this is really fucking boring. I don't even know what the fuck to talk about. I don't even know how to make this better. I don't know if I'm just not in the headspace to do this or what. But today I'm going with Joey, who I've talked about before on this. I'm going with Joey to see Trevor Noah in Connecticut, which will be fun. Because, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah's all right. He's the Daily Show guy after Jon Stewart. I watched a little bit of his new special on Netflix, and it was like, it was. I don't know. A lot of my friends liked it, but some of the jokes, it was like I sort of saw coming. I don't know if it's just because I've been doing it a lot, or I've been doing it more than I used to, so I can see more clearly what jokes are, obvious, or jokes that I've heard before just because I don't know. But he's just like, one of the jokes he was doing was like how weird it was for us to take the Native Americans' land, and then like how they didn't even have a concept of that, and it was like, what do you mean take the land? But I've heard that, like Louis did a joke like that, and like Live at Beacon or something, or it was like the same sort of thing. So I don't know. A lot of the jokes just seem like, all right, like it was funny, but it was like I've heard all this before. I don't know. I'm excited though. I'm going to the CT, which I've never been before, so that should be pretty interesting. Getting on a train at about 11 a.m. probably. I'm gonna get a bite to eat when the dining hall opens. I'm gonna do this podcast, which I think is going pretty pretty terribly as usual. But I shouldn't say that when I'm doing this, because I don't want it to be terrible, but it's sort of like a defense mechanism, because I don't know. I'm embarrassed by it a little bit because I don't really know what to do with it. I think that what Jimmy was telling me about was a consistency with doing something on a regular basis, like a podcast. If you want to do a weekly podcast, just stick with it. I think that more than building a base of listeners and building legitimacy in the fact that you do it every week and it's like a real thing. I think more is that like you do it so that it's more on your mind and you can come up with better ideas, because like it's really easy to just not think about this, to just not think that I do it. I do that a little bit too often, is that I just forget about it and I put it off and stuff. But I don't know, it's something that I gotta do, even if nobody listens to it and even if it's bad, because why not? It takes an hour to do. I just fucking open up GarageBand and I plug in my shitty mic, and there's really no reason not to. So yeah, I got a lot of shit to talk about. Let me write this down real quick, Rich. Yeah, so I do write down a little bit of stuff just so I can remember. All right, so whatever. After Lasha left, which I think Lasha and I fucking work, dude. From a writing standpoint, I really want to write with Lasha, because Lasha and I, our sense of humor is so similar. It's not that I can see the things he said that are coming, but like I know a lot of time I know where he's going with things, or I know a lot of the ways that he thinks, and then like when he doesn't, it's always like a pleasant surprise. I think it's the same thing with me. I don't know, we just complement each other very well writing wise. So I really want to like write something with him, like that idea that I had, that I think he might have actually had the original idea for he wanted to do a mockumentary. When we were both into The Office junior year, he wanted to do a mockumentary like The Office, and then I think we were like, oh, let's just fucking do it on IB and stuff. And so we were gonna do like this mockumentary, 6-7 episodes or 8 episodes, called like Gifted and Talented, because like we hadn't seen any like in any sort of TV or movies like the experience of like advanced classes in IB and stuff. So we wanted to figure out how to do something like that, and we spent this summer in between junior and senior year writing, or coming up with a lot of ideas. We didn't actually write any we wrote like 5 or 6 pages of a screenplay, but we didn't like write anything. We just were coming up with ideas and stuff, and it was cool. But I definitely want to do it eventually with him. He should do stand up, because he has a lot of really, really, I don't know, he's never he always surprises me with his ideas, which I think is, I don't know, that doesn't really happen with a lot of people. They're all very insightful, as I think something about his jokes that he comes up with. But yeah, so he was here for about a week, and he took off, and I think I don't know, we compliment each other well with writing, but I think we make each other more sad. I think why that album happened, because when Lasha was here, I was just starting to feel bummed, and I could tell he was feeling bummed, because we were both regretting not going home to see our families and stuff. And then I started just, I don't know, sleeping really, really messed up hours, and I don't know, I even tried to use like my mom's, she bought me this Sweet Dream tea, which is like, and like melatonin, which is just like, pills that just, melatonin is the shit where your brain releases for your sleep schedule, and it's a sleep assistant thing. So I just take some pills of that once in a while, and I was taking my Sweet Dreams tea, which I don't think has any sort of science behind it. It just is a warm liquid, and it just has a teddy bear on it. I don't know, it's some bullshit, but I was taking it and it wasn't really even helping too much, so my sleep schedule got all messed up, and then it was messed up for classes, and I was getting stuff done for the class, and I was going to the classes, but I was just exhausted. I think, what is it, Wednesday? Okay, so Tuesday night I pulled almost an all-nighter, not because I wanted to, but just because I couldn't fall asleep. So Tuesday night I pulled almost an all-nighter. I slept for about an hour, and then I went to all my Wednesday classes. And then Wednesday night, I also couldn't fall asleep at all. Even though I was exhausted, I couldn't fall asleep just because of and I was eating a lot too. I think that's one of the reasons why. I realized that if you eat a lot of food, you can't fall asleep. I don't know, because to me, I've always loved fucking eat. That's my favorite thing to do, is I love to just eat a bunch of food and then fall asleep. It's like a caveman thing, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was getting to the point where I couldn't sleep, and I ended up sleeping it got to the point where I finally went to bed Thursday night at 6 p.m. and I'd only slept 2 hours in 60 hours, a 60-hour time period. It was miserable, but I finally went to sleep, and then woke up at 6 or 7 a.m. the next day, and I was like, oh shit, I'm fixed. And then yesterday I was tired too, so I went to bed at 8 or 8:30, and I woke up at 2:30 a.m. So maybe I'm not fixed, but I'm definitely in a lot better place because I'm eating good. I'm eating good. Today's the third day of eating good, and I'm not really exercising that much, but I did go to the gym yesterday. But eating okay and feeling okay. It's good. It's good to, I don't know. Some of it's fucking disgusting, but I don't know. I know what I can get from the dining halls that isn't. That's a nice happy medium where it tastes okay, and it makes it so that don't feel like I'm gonna die all the time. Because that was when I think it was just because I was overexhausted. But when I was up Wednesday night, when I was up really really late Wednesday night and Thursday morning, I was freaking out. I was convinced I was gonna die, and then and I gained all this weight, and then I don't know, and I really haven't gained that much. I don't think I've really gained any weight since I've gotten to college. I gained some weight over the summer when I was really depressed and I was working on an album, but I really haven't gained any weight since I've been in college. I feel like I do, I look like it, but every time I step on the scale, it's not. I haven't gained anything. I'm still floating around 270. I don't know why any of this shit matters. It doesn't matter, but I just sort of decided that I really wasn't feeling good, and I didn't like what my identity was. Because something about high school with me was that in middle school in 8th grade and in 7th grade, I was really, really heavy, and I felt really, really bad about myself, and I was just miserable. And then 8th grade, I joined track, and I decided to get in shape, and I was, and there's a little bit of a growth spurt too there. It wasn't just all me losing weight, and I joined swimming and stuff, and I don't know, I was healthy. I was never skinny, but I was healthy, and because I was healthy, my identity wasn't to other people. I didn't feel like my identity was a fat guy, And even when I ended up gaining weight in junior and senior year, to the point where I was a fat, a chubby guy, it's still that no one that wasn't all I was. That wasn't something where it's, that's that. I don't know. It just seems like an easy way to. And I don't want to say write somebody off, but it's I guess it is to write somebody up. It's a dismissive oh, that's what. And I don't know. I feel like that is very similar to what a lot of people go through. That it's not. It's not discrimination, but it's I'm sure it bothers people. That are gay or a person of color or a woman might feel not like people don't like them, people don't accept them, but as if that's the biggest part of their identity. Because I don't know, it opened my eyes a little bit. I think as a white guy, the best thing you can do to open your eyes a little bit is get really fat and ugly. That's the best method you can go for. Because I'm not trying to compare anything the level of fucking discrimination or some bullshit that you got to go through. I'm just talking about I don't know, you open your eyes to just feeling like you're only that. And once I got to college, because I've only been this since I got to college, it's weird to me that that is what a lot of people just see me at. And like they don't explicitly say like, oh, Mike the fat guy, but I can sort of tell that it's like that's sort of I don't know. I don't know if this is making any sort of sense, but it bothers me. And then like, because it always takes me by surprise, because I haven't thought that way about myself for a long time, and now I don't want to start thinking about myself that way again, but I can't not and then just be a fucking crazy person, because I have enough weird shit that I go through that so I don't want. I either gotta accept it or I gotta make a change. And I think being worried that I was gonna die and everything, because I was for some reason I thought I was going to die. I messaged everybody. I'm like, I messaged like I do that thing where like I write a big long message to one person. In this case, it was my mom. I wrote like a big long message to one person, and then I was like, "Oh shit, this is good, not good, but this is something I can send to everybody." So I just copy and paste it and send it to like a bunch of people on like Facebook Messenger and shit. And I thought I was gonna die, and obviously I wasn't gonna die. But the past few days, the third day, the third morning, where I've just been not anything like super good. I just like, okay, so yesterday I woke up and I had some Raisin Bran and an omelet and some fruit, and then for lunch I had a chicken salad, and then for dinner I had a smoothie, and it was like one of those like veggie fruit smoothies, and I was like, I felt good. I felt tired because I don't think I had enough. I think it was just such a shock to the shit I've been. My digestive system and the shit I normally eat. I don't think it was because I just have a bunch of sugar and shit. I don't know, but I was tired. But I don't know. I don't feel horrible. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm on a good schedule right now. I wasted a little bit of time yesterday because I was tired, but this morning I woke up and I cleaned up a bunch of stuff, and I went to some grocery shopping. I got some coffee and some coffee filters and some ice trays and some tea, and and I got new headphones. I got some new Apple headphones, because my last ones I lost 3 months ago, and I've been using these shitty ones. None of this matters, but I'm just trying to say that I'm in a better place now, and maybe since I'm in a better place, I can do this wonderful podcast that everyone I know listens to, everyone that is important to me listens to. If you don't listen to this, I want you to know, you'll never hear it, but I want you to know that I don't love you as much as I love the people that listen to this. So, because they get me on a fundamental level. You know what I'm saying? One of the things that I want to start doing on this is I want to start talking about. I want to just start literally thinking out loud and trying to figure out ways to fix jokes on here, and just completely bomb and just read out the jokes and just think out loud and have pauses and like have it like a, it'd probably be painful as hell to listen to, but I figure if you're listening to this and you're interested. I'm worried that I don't want to spoil the jokes for when they come out in the 30 minutes that I'm shooting, May 5th and 6th. I still have to reserve the room, but that's the time that I decided. I think I don't know. I decided it, but at the same time, I just applied to be a summer RA over the summer, and one of the days that they have like trainings is May 5th and 6th. But hopefully it's not at nighttime. I don't know. If I get that, and that's a whole other story, I'll reschedule it or whatever. But so far it's May 5th and 6th. I do have everything that I need material-wise. I'm not fishing for new material. Most of it is worked out. Most of it would work. It really comes down to just memorizing it and knowing it like the back of my hand. And I come up with stuff once in a while where I'm just like, oh, I want to put that in there, but I'm sort of fighting against I don't want it to be too long. I don't want it to be, like, for instance, I think I might have talked on the last one, but I cut all the shit. I don't think I did, because I was talking to Alasha, but I cut all the shit that didn't have specifically to do with me. So like I cut all the, like I had a bunch of race jokes that was just like one of the joke, like the biggest joke, and I have like a bunch of bits that relate to this, but the biggest joke is that like white people either hate white people can only do two things. They either hate black people or they hate white people, and that's it. Like they hate one or the other, and there's no like crossing over and stuff. And like obviously it's just a premise here, but it's a joke, and it works pretty well, and I really like it, and it has a lot of different like examples, and like it goes into a bunch of different other bits. But that was something where it would be like, for me to fully flesh it out, I have to put in a bunch of time, and I have to like it would take away from the concept sort of thing that I'm doing with the thing I'm shooting. So I think I'm just gonna stick with things like being fat and sad, which it's sad sometimes more than it is funny, and I recognize that as a weakness of the material. And if I was better as a comedian and better as somebody that could like balance the things and have a concept but still balance between having it be sad, I would be better. But it's a little bit too sad right now. I'm hoping that if I work it out and I add more jokes to the sad stuff, it can be. But the through line is that it's all so like all the jokes are really sad and the jokes are funny and they make you laugh. But like if you hear 10 funny jokes and they're all funny and they all make you laugh, if the concept, if the you know the emotion behind where the jokes were written were all sad, you start to catch on to that, and it just gets like depressing. And I don't want to be like a fucking meme, you know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, because I have some bits that are mocking being overly sad to the point where it's not funny. Like in the Louis episode where he had that comedian that came up and asked him to watch his set, and it was all super sad. It was like, I used to pee the bed, and then my mom beat me for peeing the bed, and then I peed in the bed more. And then like it was just depressing. It wasn't funny at all. But I don't think my stuff is like that. It's funny. It has jokes. It's just that it's not. It adds up to the point where it adds up to create a situation where you start to feel bad for me. And I think that I kind of wanted to do something like that. I wanted to write something that was vague and ambiguous, and I've talked about that before with the special. I want there to be a little bit of, should I laugh or should I feel bad or what? But I want to make sure it doesn't get to the point, because it is 30 minutes. I don't want to get to the point where it gets too sad 10 minutes in and I have 20 minutes of just an awkward crowd. So really just, I would be more confident if I could do a bunch of shows. Like I think that's why like comedians that record hours and stuff, they don't do it this way, not because it's about memorizing the jokes, but it's because they need to do all the jokes in the hour and see what the through line is. Like it's hard to see what the through line is and then see the audience's reaction to all these things over time unless you do it all together. I don't think it's a memorization problem. I think it's more of a, you don't know what it feels like as a solid piece until you do it as a solid piece. You can do and cut up, and I know that. I know it's way too early to be doing this, but I want to do it because it's something that I shouldn't be doing, and it's something that it's a challenge to do it. And because I wanted to do this from the beginning, I have a lot of material. I have more material than anybody else at my school or my age right now. I have so much fucking material, and a lot of it works really well. And I don't know. I've been working. I haven't been doing it on stage. I haven't been doing it on stage as much as I need to be, and I haven't been going up as much as I need to be, and that's really something that I regret. But at the same time, I don't feel like stagnated about it. I wish I could get to the point where I'm even with writing, where I write the same amount or come up with the same amount of ideas as I go up, to where like if I come up with 30 ideas in a week, I go to enough mics where I can at least try all those ideas and then work out a new number of, and that would be, I don't know, that would be a lot of my, I don't know. It's not a money thing now. because Al said that he would, and Al has been funding me and funding the mics, which is great because he thinks I'm gonna pay him back because I should have gotten that America Reads job, and the shit all fell through. So now I have to apply to sell fucking popsicles on the High Line in Chelsea, which is what Moss did all summer. But Moss is smiley, so of course he's smiley and happy, and like he's quick, and like he can make jokes and make. But I don't know. I'm not quick like that, and I'm not a happy looking person. So I don't know. No one's gonna fucking buy popsicles from me. But that's a job where he could vouch for me, and I could get that job, and it's minimum wage. But I really should start because I do have to fucking find a way to pay Al back. It doesn't look like the tutoring position is gonna go through for me. So I don't know, a lot of shit. But I do feel good about the special. I need to go up. I'm gonna say right now, I need to go up. I'm gonna set a goal for myself here. I need to go up. All right, it is. Right now, it is April 1st. I'm gonna set a goal for myself. I'm shooting March 5th and 6th. I need to go up 30 more, and this is lowballing it, but I'm gonna go up 30 more times to a mic or a show before a shoot. I think that's good because that's almost one a day, and I think that is reasonable. 30 more times, and then that should be enough to work things out. I don't know. I definitely need to do a lot more, but I don't think I'd ever done a podcast where I said I'm doing enough mics. But I feel good. I don't feel shitty like I haven't been writing and stuff. Whenever I do feel like because I can't really sit down and come up with an idea or like sit in front of. Sometimes I do. Sometimes with Twitter, I'll sit in front of Twitter and I'll sit there for 20 minutes and then not have anything, and then all of a sudden I'll think of one, and then the part of my brain that which spits out ideas opens up, and then I can tweet 15 tweets, 20 tweets in 10 minutes, and then I shut down again. But most of the time, all the ideas come out of nowhere. So sometimes I'll have days where I don't have any ideas, and I'll feel like garbage, like I'm worthless and I can't write anything. But yesterday was one of those days where I woke up feeling like garbage, and I ended up filling a bunch of notes on my phone of just ideas and shit. A lot of my bits come from messaging people, which is interesting. A lot of my good bits have come from just responding to people, and then also just, I guess that's a way for me to test out like if it's something I was thinking about, I'll just message it to someone and I'll see how they react. No one ever reacts good to the messages of a bit, but if I phrase it in a way that I'm like, oh, maybe that could be, then I'll write it down and I'll work on it more. But no one cares. No one cares how I'm doing it. I don't know. What else happened? I've been hanging out with Joey. I barked with Joey for Gladys last week for the Friday show, which barking to sell tickets is a lot worse than just barking for a free show, because I feel really bad about trying to sell people tickets to a shitty show. It's not as if it's not anybody's fault that the show isn't, but we're all amateur comics, and it's like a mic / show, and people are trying new stuff out. There's a lot of first time people there. There's a lot of, it's a very bringer show where there's some people that aren't very good, but they bring a lot of people. They fill the room. So it's an interesting situation. Look at that. I love doing this podcast, feeling awake and with energy in the morning, and seeing the sun come out. Well, there's no sun in New York, but seeing that it went from black to gray outside, like it's a great feeling. I drink a half pot of coffee. I feel good. I gotta apply for some internships and that job later. So yeah, barking with Joey. I got off track because I'm stupid. But barking with Joey, I can't do it. I thought I could do it because I had done it so many times for the Den show, where it was just you just say, oh, free comedy show, free comedy show, free comedy show, and that is something I can do. But when I have to like hold tickets and sell people tickets, and I don't feel good about it. I just don't. Joey's fucking good at it though. Joey handed out like 10 tickets to people, and one of them actually showed up. And then ended up being where he didn't even get to go up because they ran out of spots, and Gladys put me up. Which, yeah, Gladys is fucking awesome. Like, she really does. Like, even though I pay her to like me, which is essentially what is just happening, she doesn't. She gives me a chance. I think she really does think that maybe if I do it enough and I get if I get in a good spot, I can do something interesting. I can do something nice. Who's messaging me right now? Oh God, James. You see, Corey and Jarvis released more music. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Here's the thing about the music. Obviously, when I was doing the mixtape over the summer, I felt a little guilty, and I felt a little bad, and I felt a little bit of stupid for doing, essentially, it wasn't hip hop, but it was like a very rap, hip hop, music genre thing that I was doing. I felt bad because cultural appropriation is used so much to the point where I don't think people even identify with what it means or understand what it means or just get pissed off people use it. But it was a situation where it was like, it wasn't honest. It wasn't an honest thing I was doing. I mean, I was saying things that are honest to me. I wasn't talking about things that aren't honest to me. But it was like an art form where it didn't translate because that's not... I don't know, dude. Like, I'm not smart enough to explain why, but once I got here, once I got to New York, and I was around a lot of people from Clive and stuff, and which is the music school here. White people shouldn't rap. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I have a whole bit about this because I have a bit about everything, and most of the bits are terrible. But one of my bits is like, it's talking about how like white people either really hate white people or really hate black people, and there's no difference. I mentioned it, but I'm going to like an example of this is that like, you know, I'm old school ignorant against like white rappers. Like if I'm listening to like a jam in the car and I'm like, oh, this is sick. Who is it? And someone goes, oh, this is Post Malone. I'm like, turn off this fucking garbage, this shit, dirty music. You will not play this in my car. I will not have one of my friends associate with this dirty garbage music from the suburbans, whites, like old school, disgusting, racist against. But it's just a feeling. I don't know. I just. Maybe that's reverse racism. Maybe that's self-hate. I don't know. I just don't. It's just cringy to me. That's what it is. It's just cringe. It just makes it cringy when white rappers. But they're good. That's the most tragic part is that Corey and Michael are good. They've gotten good. Like they're much better than me. My mixtape was actually absolutely trash, but they're good. Like they flow. They're using good beats. They sound good. But it's still like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I wish them the best with it, but I'll never vibe with it. I don't know. Even Eminem. Like I'll listen to Eminem's. The only one I'll listen to that I like from Eminem is the Marshall Mathers, and even that, it's like sometimes I'll remember that he's white and it'll bother me. Stringer gave a pretty good. My teacher from senior year, he was our theory of knowledge teacher, which is just like a sociology sort of thinking class. It was one of the bullshit IB classes, but one of the things that he said was that like the reason white people listen, it wasn't what he thought, but he said one of the arguments is that like
it's a negative thing that white people listen to hip hop because it's like over masculinized, and that's how they wrongfully over, where it's like black women are over sexualized, and like black men are like, you know, supposed to be like manly and shit, and it's damaging to black guys that aren't like that. Just like I don't know, but that was one of the things he was saying, is that's one of the appeals, and maybe I'm that. Maybe that's why I don't like when white people rap. I'm like, he's not manly enough. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm old school racist to everybody, but I don't know. They just dropped a new tape. E mixed it, which E I think was originally supposed to come out here and sound and do all the soundscaping and sound staging for my special. But I don't know if he's gonna be able to come out. So I think I'm just gonna have Jack do it, because Jack's in Clive, and Jack said he's really interested in doing it. And but I will send it to E if he wants to mix it and shit. I will send it to E, but I don't know if he'll be able to come down and do the recording part. So I might just have Jack help me out with that. But yeah, E mixed and mastered all of that mixtape, and apparently he was telling me that they did it on a super shitty, like a $70 mic, like this blue mic that I'm using. This piece of shit USB mic, and that like the quality of his podcast, which is like echoing like that bad, and he spent like, they recorded all the shit last summer, and he spent like on and off edited, mixed and mastered it for months. And like originally I was gonna be like, well, is it really gonna be that much? Like, is that average listener gonna be able to like hear the difference between like, you know, just a little bit of fixing it and like whatever? Because, you know, I didn't know that E could achieve, like, I didn't know that E could achieve the studio quality, not the studio, but like the professional, or get close enough to the professional mixing mastering quality compared to like just some dope doing it. But yeah, I was listening, I was like, holy shit, like this just sounds perfect. Yeah, their tape sounds really, really good. But it's old too. It was before they stopped saying the N-word, which makes it worse. I don't know. That's one thing I did not do, because I just don't like. Eminem doesn't do it either, because it's just I don't know. But he did edit it, and it sounds great. I don't care if they listen. Honestly, they're not going to listen to this anyway. But even if they do, I don't give a shit. I don't really care about much of the people from back home, especially the ones that like didn't really pay much attention, or we didn't really get close to. Like, I don't really, you know, I don't care about pissing off my acquaintances from back home, because I don't care what people think of me. The friendships and the relationships that I have with people, that's obviously I care about those, but my identity back home is no longer a thing. I don't have an identity back home. I don't have a social standing or what people in general think about me. So I don't give a fuck at this point about what it is back home. But all right, that was a super long tangent. But what was I talking about? I was talking about bargaining with Joey and Gladys believing me and shit. And I don't know. She's pretty great, man. Lasha came and saw her, and Lasha came and went to the comic strip and watched me do a set, and he really enjoyed my set. Yeah. What else has happened? So Lasha's been here. Kale has also been here from fucking elementary school. My buddy Kale and I were like partners in crime. Kale Bogus. We were partners in crime when I was in elementary, gifted. Which was like the first real school home that I ever had. Was I went to this elementary school gifted program, and because it was like from kindergarten and all primary, and then all the primary school, I was like switching around and switching in middle of years and stuff, and I hated school. And then I went to this gifted program, and I was there for 3 years straight, and it was very tight knit community. And I even had the same teacher for 2 years. It was awesome. And Kale was my partner in crime through all that shit. Oh shit, I just remembered. Oh god, in between the summer of 4th and 5th grade, Kale did something at the end of the year that pissed me off, and I was like mad at him, and I was like, ugh. And then we didn't talk all summer. And then the first day of 5th grade, like we just looked at each other like, "Hey, buddy!" And like it was just all of it. He's a good friend. He was a good friend. And then he went to Seven Springs. I was at Seven Springs, which was the middle school. In 6th grade, I was there for a year, and I had to leave. I went to was my dad. It was a long story, but that was where we sort of stopped being at school together. And I guess our lives went completely different ways. He sort of became like a jock type of thing, and I'm not saying that in a negative way because he even says, but he started doing football because his dad was super into football, and his dad was a football coach at Mitchell and Seven Springs, and so he went heavy into football for a while, and he weightlifting and wrestling and shit. And then I sort of went in the way of fat, sad, weird comedy. Not even comedy. Like I don't know what I was doing before junior year that he was doing something. Like he was the guy that did sports, and then from 7th grade to 11th grade, I don't know what the fuck I was doing. Like I didn't have a thing. I was just, I don't know. I guess swimmer who tried to make one girl laugh. I don't know. But so we sort of went different ways. I just recently came into this pseudo identity that I have that might change, where I'm trying to do comedy and stuff. But he's really happy. I could tell that he is excited that I'm doing this. Like I know that he supports me, and it makes me feel really good. Like he was always a super funny guy, and so yeah, he came up to New York this weekend, and I met him. I signed him in the dorm. We figured out we bought some weed from this guy. I wasn't a homeless guy, but he just definitely didn't look good. He didn't look like he was in good shape. I shouldn't say he was homeless. Maybe he was, but he was selling weed, so he had some sort of hookup. I don't think he was like homeless, but he didn't look like he was in good shape. Maybe that was a get up. Maybe that was like why he just wanted to look homeless, and then I don't know. But he did not look like he was in good shape at all. Very very homeless-y. So we bought some weed off of him, and then we had Himanshu's friend TJ roll us the fattest joint I've ever seen in my life. It was $20 worth of weed in one joint, and Kale and I smoked it in like 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes, like 5 minutes we smoked this joint, and we were just fucking destroyed. It was bad. Like we stumbled around the street for a few minutes, and we're like, okay, we gotta go back up to my dorm. And we just sat on the couch for a little while, but and then he had to leave. He had to leave and meet up with his mom and stuff. But it was interesting. Like we just talked, and he dropped. Well, he didn't drop, but he went to play football. He went to play Division III football in the fall. He went up to Ohio to play at Mount Union, where his dad played, and he played there for a little while, and he ended up dropping out of Mount Union and coming down here coming to Florida again to go to school there. And like I don't know, like he seemed a little bit lost, and it was an interesting time to be around him, because I know he's gonna figure shit out, but he was like at a crossroads where he didn't really know where he was going, because like I said, he had been the jock. That was like such a big identity for him, and now he's sort of figuring out what he's doing now, like with where I think he was telling me that he wants to do real estate and stuff now. But it was really an interesting time to talk to him. Yeah, it was just we still clicked right away. We still made each other laugh, but it was like very different people right now, very different paths. So yeah, I mean that's one of the things. I'm glad that we talked then, because I feel like both of our lives are going to get even more different. And it was like a cool moment where we're both sort of lost. Because I'm miserable too. Like one thing I realized when I was up for 3 days straight, or however long it was, when I was going crazy, was that I really do want to go home. I love doing comedy. I love being up here, and I love the idea of working towards something, and I want to stay doing that. But I really regret not going home over spring break. And I am going to go home for a little while. May 8th, I think, or May 9th or 10th, I'm going to take a plane. Right after Shoot a Special, I'm going to take a plane back home and stay there for at least a couple weeks. But my plan originally was to just come back up to New York and just do stand-up and get an internship and just work, Rihanna style, and just, work towards something. But, and maybe I can still if I stay on this track and I stay in this good place, maybe I can still. But I miss home. I miss my dog. I miss my parents. I miss the friends that are back home still, because a lot of them left. And I know a lot of them will be home over summer, and I think even though I haven't been working as hard as I should be, I really want to recover and just recoup and regenerate, because this was a big fucking move, and I still haven't transitioned, man. When I was saying back in September that like all my dreams and stuff take place back home, a lot of them still do. They still take place back home, and I don't know if that'll ever change. I know my parents still have dreams about their childhood homes and stuff, but like, I don't know. I don't feel like I've spiritually moved on. Mentally moved on. I know Joey said something like fuck you, dude, like you gotta move the fuck on. I gotta move, but it's hard, man. I haven't found a solid place where I'm like happy and I feel like I'm part of the comedy thing. What's hard is that like the people that I feel most connected to are other comedians, and I don't do enough stand-up to be taken seriously, and I'm also kind of like outsider-y, where I guess that's a good place, because I would hate to feel like I could be one of the guys and not be taken seriously, but I think right now it's like I'm in a good place because I'm the young guy, to where no one takes me seriously no matter what, so I don't have to feel bad like, oh, it's because I'm not good enough. But I do want to get to the point where I'm one of the guys and I'm taken seriously, and I'm doing it at full time with them. Because there's a lot of guys out here that are really funny, and I clicked with a couple times when we talked, and it was really great. But being 19 and not even being 19, because I could be 19 and be a mature 19-year-old and be a worldly 19-year-old and be someone that is socially, caught up. Because I thought I was, and then I get here and I'm not at all. Like as superficial as it sounds, like I think that there's a lot of truth in the fact that like you gotta be. I think I put too much value on this, and I think I overthink it a lot of times. But I think that I think not being self-hating and not being afraid to talk to other people and talking to girls or having any sort of experience with being in a relationship or being, I think that's important to just relate to a lot of people's problems. That's most of people's concern, it seems, is like, their girlfriend or these girls are going out getting chicks and stuff. And like for me, it's like it's not even a part of my life anymore. Like I don't even think about that stuff. And I think it allows me to come up with material that a lot of people don't normally come up with. But at the same time, I can't really form any sort of like meaningful. It's hard for me to form any sort of meaningful like connection with other comics and stuff. So I'm kind of lonely. I mean, I'll admit, and I definitely don't feel connected to hardly anybody at school. Like I'm so glad I found Abhishek and Alma Prabhu, because like they're my go-to. Like if I'm feeling really bad, I can always count on those guys to make me at least feel like I have some sort of home here, And I don't know, like I'm very, very happy that I met them and I became such good friends with them. But I don't know if that just happened like because it worked, or if I put effort into it. I don't really remember it very well. I just remember that. I remember that. I know. I definitely didn't feel like. Here's the thing, because I know we're very similar people. Like we were in class the other day, and we were doing some ridiculous shit. Where in my lecture class, some basic film school shit, where she was having us do activities in this giant theater, where like it was like, all right, now it was like a yes no game. It was like stand up if you are in film, and then all the kids were to stand up. He's like, now sit down if you or keep standing if you love film, or if film is the only thing you're doing. And it was like all these games like sit down, stand up and stuff, and like everybody was doing it. And then I looked sort of across the room, and I saw because Abhishek wasn't there, but I saw the only person that wasn't participating at all was Al. And it wasn't like we saw each other and like made this agreement not to participate, but it was like we're very. Like he's also like me, and then there's no, he's like not gonna do it. So I'm glad that I met those two guys, and I wonder if in the beginning I put a lot of effort to get close with them, or if it happened naturally. Because if I had to put a lot of effort to get with them to get as close as I am right now, I should be doing that more. I should be trying with other people, but I feel like that situation in the room there where I was the only person doing it. I was like, we are very similar people to the point where I don't think we had to try that much. I think the only thing I had to try was I just had to set up a time to hang out, and I didn't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess we'll just see if I can make any sort of other connections with people, but I don't think it's gonna happen this year. What I want to do is I want to shoot that special. I want to invite a lot of people to it. Hopefully they can get a little bit more of a sense of me, and maybe if someone wants to be my friend after that. Is that sad? That sounded really sad. That's not, I'm doing it for me, but hopefully by doing it, inviting a lot of people and putting it out, I can make more connections. And by connections, I mean people that spend time with me at film school. That's all I'm trying to do. Not people that spend time with, people that I feel some sort of bond with, Because that's what I miss most about home, is that I do have that bond with Abhishek and Alma, but that's the thing that's hard, is that they are best friends, They are best friends. They come first to each other. And like we click, but it's like they're their own thing too most of the time. So it's like I don't really have a one person or a best friend necessarily to go to. And that can be hard, man. And I miss that about home, because I felt like it got to the point where everybody was sort of like that. I mean, obviously I had my closest friends. I had Vibo, I had Will, I had Lasha, I had James, but I felt really, really close, and I had a very strong connection with everybody, because maybe it was just an overtime thing. Of course it was an overtime thing, but I wouldn't say everybody, but I had a large pool of people that I felt really close with. And I don't really feel that way anymore. I want people to come see me. If you're listening to this, you should come. When I'm in New York, you should come visit me. Or at least this. If you are listening to this and you're like, oh man, maybe I want to see Mike, let's hang out over the summer or something. Because I will be home for a little while. I miss talking to people. I miss talking to people that understand me a little bit, to know that I'm not as miserable and shitty and mean and arrogant as I look to other people. Because I think I want to do LSD. I think I do. I think because I was reading up on I've been reading this comedy book. The history of comedy has been airing on CNN. I haven't been able to watch that because I don't have a means to. But I've been reading it in my in this book that I have about it's The Comedians or whatever. It's by this guy Cliff Nesteroff. And I've been reading it, and it's been really interesting. And one of the last things I read was about LSD, the whole LSD boom, and how George Carlin credits like all of his success to this drug. And that was something that I didn't want to do for a really long time, because like my dad had always said things about LSD and like he was on tour with the great. My dad had done all the drugs in the book, but I guess he hadn't done LSD, and he was on tour with the Grateful Dead. Not with the Grateful Dead, on the tour, seeing the Grateful Dead. He wasn't up there like dancing or anything, but he touring with them and going around the country, seeing them, and because that's what Deadheads did. They went to all the shows, and they traveled the country with the Grateful Dead. And they followed them everywhere, and the town would be taken over by Deadheads, wherever the Grateful Dead went. And one of the things, he was at a show and someone sprayed him with a water bottle, and he freaked the fuck out because he thought it was LSD. And he always told me that story, and I've always read on LSD flashbacks and it fucking up your brain. But I wish I could do it. I wish I could have a doctor give me LSD. You know what I mean? Not to fuck up my brain, but just to, I want to see, because Bill Hicks did it. I remember watching the Bill Hicks documentary where he went into the fucking mountains, he took LSD, and he was a different person afterwards. Maybe that's because he broke his brain. I don't know. Maybe that's what breaking your brain is, just become a different person. Maybe it's not. When I think of breaking my brain, I think of becoming mentally retarded, is what I really. I think of like after taking LSD, I'm just gonna have my corpus callosum is just gonna split in half. Like that's what I imagine LSD doing, but I don't think that's how it works. But I think maybe I might do some shroom. All right, I'm not gonna do any more drugs. That's my rule. I had an opportunity to drink a couple days ago. I didn't drink because I want to stay straight and I want to keep writing until I shoot this. Over the summer, if anybody wants to do drugs with me, I'm 100% down to do as much drugs as you guys want. As much as anybody wants to do with me. But responsibly. I don't want to do LSD because anything that's dangerous I don't want to do, obviously. I'm okay with smoking. I'm okay with drinking. You know, I gotta moderate it because I know that I have addiction in my family. I gotta moderate it. I can't go too crazy with it. But every once in a while, I think it's good, especially for type of stuff. Every time I do that, I do end up thinking about one of my bits or one of my ideas, my creative ideas, a different way, and it's always better from it. Maybe it's better. Maybe it's not better because the idea that I had was good, but maybe it's because thinking about that idea made me think of other ideas that ended up making it better once I was sober. But yeah. So I don't know. We'll see how this whole shenanigans go. I have no idea how long I've been doing this episode, but I don't know how long this has been so far. But I think that's most of what I was trying to do. I guess I'll play the outro music. I'm gonna try to do this again next week. Saturday morning. That's a good time. What the fuck am I doing on a Saturday morning? I was trying to do this Saturday mornings now because during the week is hard, but I gotta grow the fuck up. All right, thanks.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm just like a boat upon a winding river, twisting towards an endless black sea, further and further, drifting away from where I want to be, who I want to be.